Hello everybody, I am Jared Ross, the GeneaVlogger, and welcome back to another Professional Genealogist Reacts. On today's video, I will be reacting to Boris Johnson eyes up new Home Secretary job from Who Do You Think You Are? This is the third clip from the Boris Johnson Who Do You Think You Are series from the Who Do You Think You Are channel on YouTube. And so far in the past two episodes, we've been following his journey in learning about his great-grandfather, Ali Kamal. For this video, I'm guessing they're still following Ali Kamal. It's kind of hard to tell because it's, Boris Johnson eyes up new Home Secretary job. So maybe it kind of goes from the Ali Kamal story into something else, or maybe this is dealing with the Ali Kamal story, and it's just not apparent because I haven't watched this clip yet. Hopefully we will find out when was he assassinated and why was he assassinated. Now, before we do jump into the video, please be sure to give this a like. That really does help me out, boost me in the algorithm. Also, be sure to subscribe and click that bell for notifications on future videos. But with that fun stuff said, let's go ahead and watch the video.
As Ali Kamal feared, the nationalists soon targeted him in their increasingly violent crackdown on those who opposed them. In 1914, the nationalist government took Turkey into World War I on the German side and lost disastrously.
Okay. Interesting.
They were forced to resign, and British and French Allied troops occupied Istanbul. The Allies backed a new government, and in an extraordinary turn of events, Ali Kamal was invited to be Minister for the Interior. Convinced Turkey's best interests lay in cooperating with the Allies, he took the job.
And where we're going now is the room where the cabinet meetings would have been held. Right.
Oh, that's cool.
Hey, superb.
Wow.
This is the business. It's not bad.
Visiting locations where you know for a fact your ancestors were there, whether they worked there, lived there, visited there, shopped there, just did whatever there. It's just such a cool feeling. And especially when it's like a recent ancestor that you didn't know, but your family members that you do know knew that family member, sort of. He said that he wasn't sure if his father or his grandfather knew Ali Kamal, but I imagine he must have met him at some point, but I guess maybe not.
Now, if I was Home Secretary in the Ottoman Empire or Interior Minister, whatever, I want to have a crackdown. There's no point in being Interior Minister without having a crackdown. So what's he going to do? He can crack down on aggressive beggars or panhandlers or squeegee merchants or something. What's his big initiative?
Well, as it turned out,
what do you crack down on?
Ali Kamal Bey had a major crackdown on his hands, and that was the attempt to suppress the emerging nationalist resistance movement over which they had increasingly less control.
Despite their defeat in the war, some key nationalists remained in positions of power. Chief among them was Mustafa Kemal, later known as Ataturk. At the time, Ataturk was a senior officer in the Ottoman army, a war hero and respected leader. He should have been taking his orders from the Allied-backed government in Istanbul, but in fact he was actively organizing nationalist resistance to the foreign occupation of Turkey. As Interior Minister, desperate to avoid a new war, Ali Kamal acted to try and stop him.
And this is where it really gets dicey for Ali Kamal and his political story.
Yeah, I think you got some bad news for me here. Pretty bad.
Well, actually, I'm going to let someone else give you the bad news because although we've had some problems finding a Turkish historian who would speak about the Ali Kamal issue on camera,
You mean
in the later
they didn't
periods.
want to talk about it?
That's right.
Why not?
Because it's still controversial here in Turkey.
Wow.
But one eminent Turkish historian, Dr.
That is really interesting. Having a family history story, one of your ancestors being so controversial, actual historians in the area are like scared to talk about it on camera. That's crazy. Hopefully this historian they're about to go to does talk about it.
Ahmet Kuyaş has agreed to talk to Boris about an infamous government order known as a circular that Ali Kamal issued sacking Mustafa Kemal Ataturk from the Ottoman army.
So here we have the circular by the Minister of the Interior, Ali Kemal. It's dated June 23rd. Your great-grandfather sends this circular to all the governors saying that Mustafa Kemal is fired, you don't have to listen to his orders, he's not acting on behalf of the Ottoman government.
Right. This sounds like a serious political
Yeah.
mistake. He took on Ataturk, who was to become the father of modern Turkey, and he was face adorned every lamppost and municipal dog pound in Turkey. Quite right.
Official historiography in Turkey calls Ali Kemal, together with the Sultan, traitors.
Is it not possible that he just had the interests of Turkey at heart?
Of course.
Following this notorious circular, Ali Kemal was forced to resign from the government.
Wow.
His political career over, he returned to journalism, writing pieces against the nationalists' war of resistance he was sure would lead Turkey to ruin.
It wasn't so much a political blunder at the end of his career, it was the natural conclusion of his opposition to the nationalists. And the more I dig into this, the more I think about it, the more respectable I think the case for Ali Kemal really is. And what he's saying is, we've had all these wars, what good does it do? And that's why he distrusted the nationalists. Modern Turkey is, of course, it's a wonderful place. We all love it to bits, but because they've created a kind of secular religion out of Ataturk, they've got this ruler cult, it's become necessary symmetrically to demonize those who can be said to have opposed Ataturk.
In 1922, the nationalists led by Ataturk claimed victory and regained control over most of Turkey. One of their first moves was to go after those who had dared to criticize them. Ali Kemal was top of the list.
Wow.
Boris has never known the details of what happened next. But now his cousin Sinan has uncovered an astonishing account written by a junior officer who was present at Ali Kemal's interrogation and witnessed the events that followed.
The prosecutor asked him directly the reason why he was against the national movement. And Ali Kemal answered, I never believed in the success of the movement. And I was convinced that in the case of failure, the fatherland would be totally ruined.
Which has been his line throughout. This is what he's always
Absolutely.
said.
When the interrogation was over, the local commander told me to gather a crowd of 100 people outside. Sometime later, Ali Kemal left the building. The crowd set on him, stoned him. Several people even stabbed him. He fell on the ground, blood pouring out of his head and his face. When Ali Kemal died, the crowd set on his body, stealing whatever valuable he had on him, his gold watch, his ring, and even his trousers. And then the dead body was hung on a tree.
Wow.
Is that it?
That's it.
Bastards.
Wow. Wow. Well, now that is quite a story. That is not something that you get every day, and especially as recent an ancestor as a great-grandfather to Boris and a grandfather to his cousin, a grandfather to his dad. I mean, that's pretty crazy. So, wow. The feelings for that, like, it makes sense when he said, the bastards. Like, yeah, it's, to have a crowd do that. Because the way it was talked about at first, it sounded almost like he was like assassinated, almost like, John Wilkes Booth type of assassination, someone just ran up and shot him or something like that. But for it to be like, basically be lynched, that's pretty crazy. So I'm guessing with that, that's the conclusion of the Ali Kemal saga of these clips. But I wonder if the next clip in this series will go into Ali Kemal's own ancestry, who were his parents and what was their story, or if, like some Who Do You Think You Are's do, just switching to another side of Boris Johnson's family tree. Well, thank you so much for checking out this video. I do hope that you enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to give it a like. It really does help me out. Also, be sure to click right about here if you'd like to subscribe. It is completely free to do so. You can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at GeneaVlogger. I'm the GeneaVlogger. See you in my next video.